Good evening, dear colleagues. I'm very happy to welcome you this unique webinar, which was organized by the AGBU Armenian Virtual College. Before moving on to the topic, I would like to present the agenda and the technical guide. During the first part of our meeting, we will hear our guest who will present his films in detail, particularly the ones that you have watched in our platform. Mr. Avetisyan, at the end of the meeting, Mr. Avetisyan will answer your questions, which you can ask throughout the meeting. You can see the chat button at the bottom. And there you have to click your questions here and ask your questions there. I will read all the questions at the end. For all the participants who want to hear our guests in English, you have to click interpretation button at the bottom. It looks like a globe sign. And there you have to select English language. And don't forget to mute the original audio. Hopefully you have succeeded. Thank you. And now I would like to briefly speak about the AVC Learning Zone platform, which provides an opportunity to learn and obtain new knowledge and discover new knowledge. It combines offline and distance learning, making the learning possible in 8 languages. Here you can find a number of topics, find new friends, and learn with our distance teachers and peers. Uh, and all the recordings of our courses and discussions are available. And we have had a number of discussions, among which have been the following topics: displaced Artsakh Armenians and the lost heritage, the non tangible Armenian heritage of Artsakh, the threat of its loss and the challenges, the Balyans, Ottoman architecture and Balyan archive, Armenian fine arts of the 20th and 21st centuries, and meetings with prominent cultural practitioners and figures. As I have mentioned, these materials can be found in the ABC Learning platform. You have to register in advance and join us in discovering Armenian heritage together. And now it is my pleasure to introduce renowned filmmaker Jivan Avetisyan. Jivan Avetisyan's films have received a number of international awards. He was born in Gyumri. He grew up in Artsakh and currently lives in capital Yerevan. He has created more than 10 documentary and short films. 3 of his feature films, Tevanik in 2014, The Last Inhabitant 2016, and Gate to Heaven 2019, have received an international awards. All films were created as a result of international cooperation. Jivan Avetisyan and his team have planned a number of works and films. Among them are Revival, Blacklist, 2020 Angels, 5,000 Years, 9 months, 10 days film, Babel animation film, and the Stateless Diplomat TV series. Hopefully, we will hear about these films in detail today. And now I would like to give the floor to Mr. Avetisyan. Thank you for accepting our invitation. Thank you very much, and the floor is yours. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you, Marina. for this wonderful presentation of me and my activity. I would like to thank AGBU AVC Learning Zone platform for this opportunity. Yes, I'm Jivan. I'm an ordinary person who likes to create, who lives and creates in Armenia and tries to spread his films throughout the world, speak about very important issues for Armenians. With your permission, I will share my screen. Hope you can see it. This is a short description of our company, our films, ourselves. I will now open it so that you can see it better. So you can see myself in the photo. I have established two companies in Armenia, Fish Art Cultural Foundation and Life Art LLC, which is aimed at creating high quality works of art in Armenia and to ensure that these works of art are spread throughout the world in order to be able to speak about Armenia and Armenians, about issues that matter to Armenians. In particular, our films uh, speak about Artsakh, and I will refer to this in more detail. The organizations were created jointly with Masis Batasayan, Narine Voskanyan. They are my colleagues. We still work together. And the belief and the enthusiasm that has united us and the vision for the future that maybe one day we will, in the Republic of Armenia, films will be born which will be spread throughout the world. The first people who believed in me were these two people, Masis Berdesarian and Narine Voskanyan. Of course, my family had a major role in my activity and my success. I have to tell you that many prominent people have been part of our current films. So this is the list of our films. Tevanik is my first feature film. After Tevanik came The Last Inhabitant and then Gate to Heaven. I will also address the films that will be produced in the future. As an independent company in Armenia, we try to promote our films in international platforms. So it's the Cannes market, the Berlin the European film market, and a number of other fairs. Uh, and the two that I have mentioned have been attended by us during the whole during 10 years in a row. And there we meet wonderful actors and also agents to be able to spread the films throughout the world. And the films that will be produced in the future are Revival, The Blacklist, Babel animated film, The Stateless Diplomat, Angels 2020, and 5,000 Years, 9 Months, 10 Days film. I have to tell you that all these films encompass the topics that are dear to my heart and have been dictated by my consciousness. Their creation has been dictated by my consciousness. And for me as a creator, they have been the closest to my heart, my spirit, and to my mind. With our team, we haven't created any other film which we wouldn't find to be dear to our heart and spirit. As the topic has to arouse strong emotions in us to be taken. The film Tevanik, and we will soon also watch the official trailer of Tevanik. But I have to tell you that the events that unfold in Tevanik, they are based on a real story, just like in my other films. Of course, the stories are taken from the from different times during the first Artsakh War, and me and the group of and the team of script writers have joined it into one village, into one action. Hopefully, you have watched the film. The film actually tells the same stories in the with the eyes of three young men. Let's just watch the trailer.
بابای خبری بگم
Oğlum! Mint kya xoxaya. Բայց թորքի տղա, հա թորքի տղա։
Դուք շտեղազում եք քեզից Նադին նիժի կյատ Պապի, ախր մի ամես ու շատ հավար
Հենք կիլոմետր նահաճի հրապարակ։
Ոնց կարիք նահաճի։ Քամակներից չեմ գա։
Ես ես տոնը մենակ թողողություն։
Բամեր թորքը կյա։
Կապի վերջ։
Էլիս պրանատի խարկուս, դուխ ես վնա
Ինչպետ ասում քեզ սպանող ես քշել։ Ես տանը չի։
Այս դարածքի լավ գիտես։
Աշկը ես կապել։
Աշկցլուս պիտահին ընտերավ Ձո պատերազմ է, պատերազմ Ռեմանադարի ասալը, բերգիշենի ամենալավ կրևանը Աշկցլուս
Thank you very much. Yes, Tevanik was created in 2014, based on the events that took place in the 1990s. I can be proud, just as any other creator. So I'm proud of the film, of the cast. This was our first cooperation with European countries. It's an Armenian-Lithuanian production, and the actors are mostly Armenians, wonderful actors, for which it was with which it was a pleasure to cooperate. Actors who are ready to do their best in conveying the events and understanding what we wanted. Next page tells about the screening, the film festivals, where the film was screened in more than 40 years. You can see the geography here. It was Tevanik that became a foundation for our international cooperation, opening doors for us in different film festivals and platforms. Although I also had short films, documentaries, but it was Tevanik that opened the doors to international market and our presence in international market. On the next page, you can see where the films are screened. It's Amazon Prime and other platforms. It's Ucom Network in Armenia. We try to promote and spread our films throughout the world because it's not only important that we create the film, but it is more important to distribute the films and speak about Artsakh as much as possible and in a as loud voice as possible. So the press releases, and a number of media have referred to Tevanik. And this is really very inspiring because we have been able to appear not only in the uh, film list of films of best film festivals, but also a number of major prominent media have referred to this topic, to Tevanik. Tevanik is so multi-layered and is a film that really presents and introduces our identity. And so I'm convinced that each person finds emotional incentives in this film, finds their character, discovers their character in the film. And I have to say that the main character in the film, that is the one of the young men, Hovannes Gudelian, died in Hadrut in 2020 during the war. So this is the reality where we live. Let's proceed. My second feature film, the trailer of which I would like to ask you to prepare to show to our participants. Well, regarding this film, I have to say that this film is even makes me even more emotional and nostalgic when I watch it, and it raises a lot of memories and pain within me. I don't know why I did that, but when we were looking for locations in Artsakh for shooting, I decided that the film should be shot in a Khachmach village, my village, and the streets, the scenery that you can see in the film are part of my life, my childhood. I remember our house, our yard with nostalgia. I miss it because it's part of my life, my identity, my memory, which will persist. Speaking of the film The Last Inhabitant, I again have to tell you that in contrast to Tevanik, here we have more international actors. In Tevanik, most of the actors are Armenian actors who live in Armenia, while in The Last Inhabitant, we have a considerable number of foreign actors, including Armenian actors from the diaspora. And as I mentioned, the film has also been shown at Cannes Film Festival. And if the trailer is ready, let's watch it.
Here since ancient times. But
So the main characters, Alexander Khachaturian and famous actor Malvuna Shadin brilliantly do their job and provide a high quality for the film. Let's watch the trailer.
Since ancient times. But their peace was shattered irrevocably.
Mülktü, metaltı, spirtti, bütün meseleler iki arada geldi. Bu oğlan men.
This story is as old as mankind. Destiny chose him. Powerless before destiny, he never surrendered.
Karabağ istesiz. Konuşan Karabağ. Kuşağın
When nothing is left but hope,
Gece şut zaten ne yaparsın? Değil ki mucizeler edir.
he believed in the salvation of the girl. When conscience rules, he has nothing to lose. A life of chaos leading to infinity. The last inhabitant. I see you in the reflection of eternity.
Thank you. As I mentioned, the film was shot in our village, and hence these memories are very dear to me. And when speaking about the cast, I have to tell you that we have another actor, Dimitra Chaputini, a wonderful actress, Sandra Dalbasha from Lithuania. The composer is Serge Tankian. And we have also been joined by another important team member who is Adrina Mirzayan from Los Angeles, thanks to whom we were able to make the film into a reality, to promote it in the American market, screening it in a number of cities in the US and in a number of cinema houses. I have to tell you that the film The Last Inhabitant was had an international premiere in Shanghai A-Class Film Festival. I was physically present there. It's really wonderful when you have the opportunity to speak about your films, your struggle to the foreign audience, just like we did in the case of Tevanik, and we did it in the case of Last Inhabitant as well. In contrast to Tevanik, The Last Inhabitant was even more successful. Screened in A-Class film festivals, in the special program of Venice Film Festival, and then we succeeded in selling the film to HBO. Here you can see some part of the festival life of the film. And I have to tell you that this is an exceptional Armenian-made film that we were able to sell to HBO Eastern Europe. And again, the film was widely distributed in different platforms, on TV in different countries. In my opinion, The film has succeeded in telling the story of the Armenian and the will and perseverance of the Armenian. Although the film refers to an earlier period than the first Artsakh War, it refers to Sumgait massacres in Azerbaijan. It refers to human fates, tragic fates of humans. And I have to tell you that personally, if you have watched the film, imagine the character. I have seen, I saw the character during the premiere of the film in Yerevan, a person who has gone through hell in searching his daughter. Then he found her in an awful mental state, and I also met the woman. And yes, Kardeş Apgar's character is this solid man's mountaineer's character who is the representative of a whole social order, because when a system collapses, it creates a number of corrupt people, and so he tries to face all these corrupt people to find his daughter. He's a fantastic Armenian man. When I got acquainted with this film in the book, I simply fell in love with this character. And it was the last day of the shooting of Tevanik in Khachen village. So I called Zabiner Khachatryan because I had already read her book and said that I'm returning to Yerevan in a few days. I'm currently in Artsakh and we have to meet because I want to turn her story into a film. And then together with Masis Bardasaryan, we wrote the script, and now we have a wonderful film which with the efforts of Adrine Mirzayan has been presented for a Golden Globe, and we had a major screening in Beverly Hills Four Seasons Hotel for Golden Globe members. Yes, we were not nominated, we didn't win any award, but still it was important to raise our issue, to make our voice heard also on that platform, and we still continue these efforts. So this much about The Last Inhabitant. Next feature film is Gate to Heaven. Everyone asks me, where is Gate to Heaven? When I was in Berlin, Cannes Film Festivals with the script of the film in order to find support, when I told them, if when the film is there, I can tell you where it is. I can tell you that it's in Artsakh, but you will not really imagine it. In my childhood memories, I have is that when we were speaking about Hunod Valley with my peers, my school peers, we called it Gate to Heaven. So we called Hunad Gorge Gate to Heaven. The film Gate to Heaven, I can say, has exceeded my previous films because we had set a goal with the vision that each film should do better than the previous one, should do more than the previous one, and have a larger geography. And Gates to Heaven was created jointly with eight countries: Germany, France, Lithuania, Czech Republic, Bulgaria, the United States, and all the. I actually found all the co-producers. I identified all the co-producers, and the acting cast is also wonderful. If the trailer is ready, we can watch it right away.
Feel most at home.
This is our garden and she's my daughter.
I come from a village that lies at the foot of a gorge. Terrible and hunting beauty.
The energy there is so loaded that I just started to sing.
I never knew such a sight could also be the face of pain.
I wonder if all war photographers are so interested in opera, especially in female parts.
Now he's here with you, right?
Iesek paterazm aprumum artengsan hengtai.
You're a journalist, not a soldier.
This is my home. Now I can be only a soldier.
What was your father doing?
He was a photographer, just like you, and a very talented one. We were both prisoners of our past, hunted by the same face.
And what made you become a war journalist?
I saw his talent, and we thought about sending him to cover his first armed conflict in a remote communist country.
Եղստոր սմրեցին, եկեղեցու խաչը տարանում մի արտասահմանցի լուսանկարչի։
Who are you? Who are you? Stop this! Because you're a liar. You're a thief.
I speak.
In the calmness of that beauty, we find our serenity. Worthy of the gate to heaven.
Thank you very much. I hope you have watched the film. Hope you have loved it. I like to speak about my films and about Gate to Heaven. You know, it's very important that it's important to talk about human feelings. The film tells the story of the events in 2016. It's about a 4-day war in Artsakh. I collected the story. I collected 4 different stories together with our scriptwriters, Makomal Hassan Artavasti Ghazarian. And I constructed one whole story out of them. Very often I'm asked what the film is about. I say it's about crime. And then they tell me, you know what is crime? That the photographer has appropriated another photographer's photos. No, I'm not saying, and I'm saying it's not the only crime. It's the smallest crime. The biggest crime is the following, and the Gate to Heaven refers particularly to that crime. And it's basically a reality now. It's very relevant now. So a film created years ago is very relevant today. It's about being silent and being a criminal by being silent. So by appropriating another photographer's photos, he not only published them in his name, but he was silent about this photographer. And I like to speak about this in international platforms and say that, you know, you are criminals because you are silent. You know what's happening in Artsakh. It's happening in front of your eyes. It happened in front of your eyes. it's not that the events reach the audience in a matter of months. Currently it's a matter of minutes, and each person who has known about these events that took place with the Artsakh Armenians and remained silent is an accomplice, because the tragedy that's happened to us, it's not only about the 120,000 people, or the tragedy of the 2 million, 3 million people, or 10 million people. It's about seeing this tragedy on the globe and being silent. And today we witness much more major crimes that are taking place. Yes, Gate to Heaven is much more different in structure compared to the previous films. Tevanik is in Artsakh dialect, while in The Gate to Heaven we have mixed languages. And 80+% in Gate to Heaven is in English language. The actors are prominent actors. The main character is a famous German actor. He has also been to Artsakh during the premiere of the film. All the actors of all our films have felt so close to Artsakh and the struggle of Artsakh. Many of them participated in demonstrations in Europe together with Armenians, just like our Lithuanian co-producer. And I was also offered to talk on a famous platform following the war, and I said that I want the German actor to speak on my behalf. And Richard, who was German, he spoke and told the story of Artsakh, the tragedy that unfolded there. It was in December 2020. It was these days, in December 2020. I have to tell you that the film Gate to Heaven has been exceptionally successful. It was screened in the United States, AMC Cinema Network, in 8 major cities of the US. Here again, you can see the awards, its success, its distribution. Its distribution during the COVID outbreak was so we tried to make it as successful as possible, because films that premiered in 2019, they faced COVID, and the screening was delayed for years, while we succeeded to do our best to give life to the film during the COVID pandemic. And until now, we are trying to ensure the distribution of the film Gate to Heaven in a number of platforms, cinema houses, and in a number of countries. I have to tell you that the film Gate to Heaven has received an unprecedented attitude and I'm saying this in a negative sense. So the officially selected film in Moscow Film Festival was simply withdrawn due to anti-propaganda by Azerbaijan. And I have testimonies, letters that have been published online. So they could this just incited by Azerbaijan. Fortunately, Azerbaijan was made the film to be withdrawn from the festival. So this was a major loss for us. I tried to do my best, but my possibilities are very limited. But apart from this, the film has traveled a number of countries and it has succeeded. And until now, it is being distributed and receiving awards. So here we can see this screenings in a number of countries: France, Germany, Australia, adjacent countries, and also, of course, in Armenia, in UCOM network. So this is the media coverage of the film. Cine Europa, prominence in Europa, and other platforms and media have referred to the film. And I also have to tell you that in the COVID period, the film, we tried to show the Gate to Heaven film in a number of universities. We tried to distribute it to the extent possible because that's part of our uh, work. And why is this persistent work? Because it's important to work with young people in the universities. It's very important to reach them. Through our screenings in universities, we reach out not only to Armenian students, but also to foreign students. This is our fourth film, which is called Revival, which is Վերածնունդ in Armenian, Վերածնված in Armenian. So this one differs from the other three films in that it was not shot in Artsakh. Well, it is different in many ways, but in the first place, it was not shot in Artsakh. When in the summer last year, we were shooting this film, with the Armenian segment, because the European segment was shot in Cyprus this year in summer. So last year in summer, we still had Artsakh, and although it was in blockade, we still had it. But I couldn't go there with a crew of 100 persons and do the shooting in Artsakh. I waited for a long time. I waited for possible changes. And the preparatory works were supposed to start. And we had already singled out certain locations in Armenia. And in fact, we ended the shooting in beginning of September, and then September 19 came. The film Revival tells the story of the war in 2020. We started the story to develop the story of the film Revival in 2018, but as a result of the war in 2020, we changed it because initially the focus was the 4-day war, and later we changed the focus to the 44-day war. So this film is currently about the 44-day war. The events unfold in Artsakh during the war and before the war, and also parallelly in Europe, in Marseille, France. The cast is composed of prominent actors: an A-class actor from the United States, Heino Farage is a German, a prominent actor. Maya Morgenstein, you know her from Mel Gibson's film and a number of other films. So in the Christchurch film, he actually and Robin Hararian, an Armenian who had never been to Armenia, and so I brought him to Armenia through this film. This is a major success. I consider this a major success that I've been able to bring one Armenian to Armenia and connect him to his fatherland. If the trailer teaser is ready, this is just a draft teaser. Here you can see that this is just a very working the draft of the teaser because we have not finished the teaser yet. But if it's ready, I will show this draft version.
T'étais tellement mignon, bébé. T'as la même tête.
Congratulations, Mr. Murata Akelian. It is our great pleasure to announce to you that the scientific committee has selected you to present at the upcoming MedTechon International Medical.
Moi, je crois en Orchid.
This is fireproof, waterproof data storage and battery compartment. Works using novel ultrasound and infrared technology. I've equipped it with emitters and sensors for capturing vital data. It's easy to wear or carry and can enhance existing tools. Orchid is examining the patient with a new ultrasound system. Oveniz. Like oveniz, senzi. Inch de bota.
Almost lost one.
What do you say? Johannes Arakelian. I don't know. What? No, that is my father. Johannes Arakelian, without a doubt. Midas çalıştı zaten. Ancak Katarina soğuk tekrar çalışıyor. Переводи айздели, кисима. Също сме с другого почему сама. Sonra bunu da anlamak istiyorum.
وكيد وإمارات
زبان
أصل البربروتات
Nous devons approuver les projets de poterie. Maintenant, et c'est tout.
Merci.
Tout va bien.
What do you intend to do?
Livrer concrete?
Human.
Yes, so this is the teaser of the film Revival. I have to tell you that the script of the film Revival has an important line in it, among other important lines. It's about the fate of Murat, the main character. It's very similar to the path that I took during the war together with Artsakh TV. This is not a biographical film, but a number of episodes in the film are very similar to my path. I wanted to shoot the film in Artsakh and in the locations where I had the feelings, but I didn't have the opportunity for known reasons. It's now in the post-production stage, and hopefully, with God's help, we will have the film next year. in summer next year. I also have to tell you that the film has a very important component. It's the artificial intelligence component, because the main character, he has made a discovery in the field of artificial intelligence. And this is the path. So we also try to make this appealing for the people in the AI field. So it was invented by me and my team, who are professionals in AI. Going forward, uh, we can see some additional data here. As for the film Angels 2020, which is now on our table, as a film that is being developed, hopefully it will be made, we'll make it a reality next year. We started working on the film in January 2021 after meeting more than 50 doctors, up to 60 doctors, collecting their stories and creating a story about the Armenian doctor. It doesn't speak about any one particular person or a medical facility or a group, but about the picture and the idea of the Armenian doctors who left from Armenia to Artsakh, doctors who were in Artsakh, doctors who were on the front line, doctors who traveled from abroad to Armenia to save lives. Currently, we are developing the concept. We already have an idea of the main costs, and we are also in the funding stage, in the fundraising stage. Here we have this Re-Armenia platform which provides an opportunity for crowdfunding. Each of you can make your donation, and there is also the Invest in Armenia page where you can make your contribution to the film. We are trying to make the film a reality. Hopefully, it will become a reality next year. And I have to tell you an exceptional thing. What I saw and felt during the war, I mean, the 44-day war. So it was during those days that I realized that doctors are really angels. And this idea of creating the film, I don't know where actually when it was born, because really an incredible work was done by the doctors community and by the medical personnel in general. And by meeting these people, collecting their memories, we already have the script and are working towards making it, bringing it to life. Each of you can make your contribution. We also have the film Blacklist, the script of which is ready. We're now talking to different producers around the world. The film tells about travel blogger Alexander Lapshin, who was arrested in Belarus and then was extradited to Azerbaijan. And then Azerbaijan handed him over to Israel. We have quite succeeded in that the script was written by a famous American script writer, Dan Golden. You probably have seen his films. So it's about the Blacklist. Next film is a Babel animated film, which tells the story of Hike and Bell. We have the script of the film. We have co-producers from Germany, France, and retrospectively, we try to create this animated film, not only for the Armenian audience, our young people, but for the whole world, so that the Chinese and the Americans also we watch our animated films, because our young people keep watching their films. We should also come up with our production, which will be also perceivable and accessible to foreigners. And so also for the Armenian young people, it will be a better opportunity to know where we come from, who we are. And I want to speak about a unique film called The Stateless Diplomat, which we have been developing for many years. With Mimi Malayan. Mimi Malayan works on the script. And in our team, we also have a co-script writer from Japan and also representatives of Canada in our team. So we try to speak about a wonderful and empowering woman who made a change in years of hardship, in difficult times. She was able to save thousands of lives during the genocide, save lives, people who had reached Japan, Vladivostok, and other places following the genocide. And she also succeeded in making a change in the Japanese policy, although it was a minor one. So you will see a lot of details in the film. Of course, there are also certain parallels. The events unfold until our days. 5,000 years, 9 months, 10 days. The 5,000 years stand for the period from hike to our times. 9 months is the blockade of Artak, and the 10 days stands for September 19 to September 29. That is the deportation, which included my family, my wife's family, my friends, my relatives, and other people dear to me. We are also working on this story. The script is at the concept development stage. Just as our other films, it is based on true facts. And this film is also based on a true story. And with the help of God, hopefully, we will be able to continue distributing our films, the Titanic, The Last Inhabitant, Gate to Heaven, Finnish Revival, Bring to Life Angels 2020, and also the upcoming films. I believe that our film production is a vital necessity for us, not only for the Armenians, but also for foreigners. And I don't want to sound too bold. Thank you very much. I think I spoke too much. Thank you. It was really very interesting. I think we would be ready to listen to you for a few more hours. I'm a bit emotional because I have watched all the films once again. And you mentioned that Tevanik was your first film. Of course, I'm not a specialist, but by watching Tevanik, I can say that the film was created by a person who has major experience, because what you were able to convey behind the lens, it cannot be described in words. So here we have three stories by three young people So it's Tevanik's grave childhood because he lost his parents. You said that it's based on a true story. Of course, there are even worse stories which you cannot gather in one book, in one film, because these stories are so many in number. But I want to ask a question. Maybe it's a naive question. You have put three dots at the end of the film. So, so if it was this real end and this tragic end, which you did not show us, leaving some hope in us, what is the end for you personally? Well, I will answer this question in two ways. As a director, the idea is each person will decide. As a human being, I think that if anyone was affected, then it's still continuous. And it's tragic that, yes, it is still continuous. Yes, the end of the film is open to interpretation. And when Hovannes died, so when I learned, I cannot even tell you how I felt. Like dozens, hundreds of people wrote me messages on Facebook. I was in Artsakh back then. And when I finally was able to connect to the internet, hundreds of persons had written messages to me about this tragic end that Tevanik died in the film. The real Hovannes died. It's really tragic end, but it's still continuing. Yes, probably Tevanik died. But as a director, I have left it open for interpretation. Mr. Avetisyan, you mentioned that you were inspired by your village, your house, the people, your surroundings. Are there film directors whose works inspired you and who served you as a model for you and made you become a film director? Of course, I like to be connected with nature, the land, which hugs me in the warmest manner. I still remember the narrow alleys in our village. I remember the path to my home, to the small squares in our village. I still feel the taste of the cherry in my neighborhood, and this gives me force. And of course, my family gives me um, force and power. As for inspiration, professional inspiration, I'm the best audience in the world. I want to watch the film and be deceived by it. I'm not able to watch films as a critic. I want to be enchanted by a story, by a story I'm hearing or seeing for the first time. I want to get emotional. I want to be deceived and carried away. Of course, many people succeed in it, but probably the best person in this regard is Polish director Krzysztof Kieslewski, German director Wim Wenders, who I saw and had a opportunity to chat during the European Film Academy Award. Of course, everyone wants to speak to them. Not that I had the privilege of a long conversation, but still I was able to welcome him. And I also had the opportunity to meet him in Berlin as well years ago. From American directors, I love Scorsese. his characters. He has his exceptional characters. From the Russian cinema, there are a number of directors I love. I can give you many names. But I just like to watch a film and be enchanted by it and feel the effect of the film deep in my heart. And there are a number of directors which give me this feeling. Thank you. We have questions from our participants. What how were the films received abroad? I'm interested whether you met any obstacles from the Azerbaijanis during the watching of the films. Yes, during the screening of the films. Yes. I just said that one of our films was removed from the official program of the Moscow International Film Festival. It is the film Gate to Heaven. So, when creating each of our films, our producers get a number of letters, calls from the embassies of Azerbaijan in the given countries. Richard Zamel, Shadi, Sandra Galshade, and the producers, they have all faced this anti-propaganda. I don't even know how to call this because it's simply impermissible. Yes, there are a number of difficulties. There are a number of closed doors, a number of doors closed to us. People avoid us. They don't easily agree to creation of a film on the topic of arts. Like it's difficult to find this funding for the films. It's really difficult. I can talk for hours how difficult it is. But if those films are there, then it means we succeed because a number of prominent people have supported us and supported in us in bringing these films into reality, to life. Thank you very much. Another question. Do you plan to make a film based on classical literature ever in your life? Of course. Of course, I do want to produce a film based on classical literature. Of course, it will be difficult to say which work, but probably I will. The list that I have in my mind, and when in the 90s, in the candlelight, under the candlelight, my mother was reading Armenian classics to me. I even remember episode by episode the words, the sentences. I remember this shaking light of the candle. I remember the cold walls of the basement where we were hiding during the war. And for the sake of my mother and for the sake of the Armenian classics, because my mother was reading a number of classical works to me in these very difficult conditions. Imagine the works, the schools were not operational, and for many years we weren't able to properly attend school. And my mother tried to make up for that, to close this, fill this gap by reading Armenian, not only Armenian classics for me. Thank you very much. Another question, whether the films were screened or will be screened in the cinema houses in Armenia. Yes, all the films were screened in Armenian cinema houses. Temanik was screened in 2014, so fall 2014. The Last Inhabitant was screened in fall 2016. The Gate to Heaven was screened in fall 2019. So all of them were screened in Armenia. Maybe you have missed it and you have the opportunity to make up for it through your network and with your help. Yes, they were screened in Armenia and distributed throughout the world, and we're currently open to screening our films in different educational institutions. There is no offer from an educational institution or a bordering village or a military unit which we would deny or reject. Uh, I'm now speaking only about our successes in Europe or internationally. But if a person who lives in a bordering village in Davos or Sunik, then it means I have failed. Because in the first place, the citizens of my republic, the youth, should have the opportunity to watch those films. So if they have not watched them for some reason, I'm open to any possibility. We were in Sunik in the previous months. We were looking for locations for Angel 2020. We also organized the screening of Tevanik and also the subsequent films so that they have the opportunity to watch them. Thank you very much. Thank you. And our final question. Films in Western Armenian language are very rare and small in number. And what are our directors thinking of creating films in Western Armenian? We have actually thought that the animated film Babel should be in Western Armenian. So please support us in creating Babel animated film, because imagine Haik should speak Western Armenian. And one desire and welcome speech we have from Tbilisi. Thank you for creating such wonderful films regarding Artsakh. We wish you all the success. I was particularly interested in the films that will be produced soon about Diana Abgar and Lavshin. Hopefully, the situation will change soon and it will also be screened in Tbilisi. Do you uh, wasn't it shown in Tbilisi? Tevanik was actually screened in Tbilisi International Film Festival in 2014. I think it was the fall of 2014. Yes, it was screened there, and the Azerbaijanis actually attacked me with questions. And they had created a very negative atmosphere there. And the foreign directors and filmmakers actually stood in my defense because it is an exceptional film and my struggle is fair. With God's help, we will create the subsequent films as well. Thank you very much. And we also have a question when I was listening to you, I recalled Fatima Agin, who had made a film about the Armenian genocide. And so, could you ask Mr. Dyer? Which actually shook the whole world and particularly me. Anahita Petian. Frankly speaking, I cannot answer because I don't know. In, when it comes to my future plans, I have already presented them to you. Farewell. Thank you very much for a very interesting meeting. Thank you once again, Mr. Avetisyan, for sharing your creative journey and giving us valuable insights. Your films are not only works of art, but also a bridge between the past and the present. Thank you, everyone, for participating in this wonderful meeting. I think this meeting inspired everyone to watch the films as a powerful tool for preserving culture and addressing universal themes. Thank you and good night. Thank you too. Thank you, dear Marina. Thank you all once again. Thank you, ABC Learning Platform staff and participants. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on your platform about my films. Thank you. Wish us all success and victories. And hopefully we will have subsequent positive meetings, and maybe one day we will also shoot films with happy end. Goodbye, everyone.